leader, choir director, who's also a Baptist right now. The first time she ever came to service, our special music person didn't show up. And Brian asked her to sing. And that was, so you never know what's going to come. Hold on to your seats. Okay. All right. So, joy is what faith feels like. So take a moment to just bring to mind something that, a time when you felt really joyful. That you felt absolutely in a place of knowing that all is well. Joy is different than happiness. It's a profound sense of peace, right in the midst of whatever may be going on. So tap into that feeling of knowing all is well. Because that's what faith feels like. And my intention in this message today is for all of us to experience joy in the midst of whatever's going on in our life. Because we have faith. And we know that all is well, no matter what. So, the human condition is that we often put our faith in what is visible, right? What we can see. You know, there it is, I can see it. Well, that's not faith, right? I mean, if we can see it, that doesn't take any faith, right? So the spiritual solution is to put our faith in what we can't see, right? To be able to see beyond appearances. When Jesus healed, he looked past the appearance and he called forth the truth that he knew in terms of the wholeness of that person. So that's what faith is to be able to, no matter what's going on, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, to know that all is well. To absolutely know. All the way up to that point of our death, to be able to be in the dying process and to know that all is well, because we are not limited as human beings, as physical beings. We are so much more than physical beings. We are spiritual beings. And that spirit of us, our divine nature, that is God in expression, is eternal. It was here before the body. It's here now. It will be here after the body is laid down. So we can know that no matter what's going on, all is well. Because we are that divine nature. Now, is Patricia Shepard here? She was going to share a story today, and she must have got caught up in the weather or something. So, well, skip that part of my message. And I'll tell you a story about a farming community that had been experiencing a severe drought. The crops, the crops weren't growing. It was really a really bad situation. And so one of the ministers in town called a meeting on the plaza. They had like a plaza, maybe it was here in Santa Fe. And he called everybody together to pray for rain. And so people of all faiths were coming together on the plaza. And he was looking out among them all. And all of a sudden, it's like this opening was created. And here comes this little girl walking through the crowd, walking forward. And guess what she was carrying? Bingo. An umbrella. That's faith. And a child shall lead them, right? So it's like, okay, I believe it. I believe it. I'm taking my umbrella. I'm not going to get caught short. So I gave you a handout in the bulletin, and I'll have one of these I'm doing a series on the 12 powers, and so every time I do one of the messages on 12 powers, I'll read one of these. And it's something I developed years ago from my favorite book on the 12 powers, which is called Your God-Given Potential. It's that little asterisk, parentheses at the bottom of the table. Your God-Given Potential by Winifred Wilkinson Hausman. So we have these 12 powers, and if you haven't been in Unity long, you may not know about them, but you may know that we interpret the Bible metaphysically, and that every character in the Bible, every place in the Bible, is really about us. It's about that character in us, and how that character shows up in our own life. And so Charles Fillmore, the Unity co-founder, discerned, he had heard Emma Curtis Hopkins, which was the teacher of all teachers of New Thought. She was the teacher of all teachers. She had talked about that we have these 12 powers, but she didn't say much about it, only that we have these 12 powers. So in meditation, Charles Fillmore discerned those 12 powers, and he related them to the disciples. And so the disciple that represents faith is Peter. And he discerned a body location, again in meditation, for each of these 12 powers. And so faith is located in the pineal gland. So if you went like this and like this to the center, okay, that's where the pineal gland is, in the absolute center of the brain. And so that's the area of faith. So Jesus called forth 12 disciples, right? He called them forth, and they were a motley crew, and he only had 3 years to train them to go forth with his message into the world, the message of our oneness, our divinity. So we also have Jesus in us, okay? There is Jesus in us, and that Jesus in us has to call forth these 12 disciples in us in order to develop them, train them, and send them out into the world in expression in our lives. The 12 powers are to me, I can't say the most important, but to me they are the most least understood and some of the most important principles that we teach. So that when we use the 12 powers, when we have a situation in our life, if we understand the 12 powers, we know which ones maybe need a little development in this area of our lives, okay? Maybe my faith needs a little boosting, it needs a little strengthening of whatever. So, and the prayer chaplains, we've taught prayer chaplains how to pray using these 12 powers. Because every situation, several of the powers probably relate to that situation. So it helps us to call forth that power in that person. Because we have these powers. They are inherent gifts of God. They are our birthright. But how well developed they are is different for all of us. So if you look at developing this handout, what I love about the way Winifred Hausman outlines the 12 powers is that she breaks it into 7 levels. Every power is developed, and they start at the intellectual level. So you can see, I've got a longer cheat sheet than you have. As you can see, at the first level of faith is receptivity. It's just being receptive. You don't have to have the faith. Charles Fillmore is a perfect example. He saw Myrtle have this wonderful healing, and he saw people come to her, and she trained them, and they had wonderful healings. So he thought, I got to figure this out. And so he started going into meditation like she did for an hour every night, unbelieving. He didn't have the true faith, but he was receptive. See? He was receptive to divine ideas. He was receptive to truth. He was willing to consider, okay, the idea that that God is our divine nature, you know, and that centered in that divine nature, all things are possible. So hopefully all of us are at least at this level, right? If you're not, make an appointment, we'll talk. The second level, and I invite you to, let's affirm that first level together. The affirmations in the second column. Together. I am receptive to divine ideas. The second level is assent. It's, you know, that we're willing to, you know, accept the ideas and assent to that idea, okay? It's being willing to agree with spiritual truth for purposes of further, deeper investigation. It's like, I'll think about it. I'll give it some of my time. I assent to doing that. I'll try it. So let's affirm the assent affirmation. I accept the idea of my divine innate divinity. Innate. Then we go to the next level of belief. Can you see how that's deepening? Go from just being receptive to assenting to actually believing that with all of our thinking ability, because we're still in the head at this point, but with all of my thinking ability, I am willing to believe that I am God's perfect child. I am an offspring of the divine. I am made in the image and likeness of that one. And so it's, again, a mental, intellectual acknowledgement of truth. And it's that time when one of the disciples said to Jesus, I believe, help my unbelief. Okay? And we're not yet able to step out in faith like Peter did when he stepped out of the boat. Okay? We're not quite ready to step out in faith, but we're getting there. We're getting closer. So let's affirm belief. I believe with all my thinking ability that I am God's perfect child. And when we say perfect in unity, we mean whole. The wholeness. Because our innate divinity is whole and perfect, no matter how we are acting. We, as a divine being, are perfect. Then we go to the level of trust. You see how that's changing? Wow, we've gone from the thinking nature to an actual feeling, a feeling beyond thought of trust. I trust God with all my heart. And let's face it, trust is better than mistrust, right? And it's beginning to step away from that intellectual acceptance of truth to spiritual realization of truth. And it's trust without necessarily fully understanding, but it's trust. So let's affirm together trust. I trust God with all my heart. The next level of development of our faith faculty is called faith. So that's where we're deepening our trust, and we're reinforcing it with understanding, with spiritual understanding. And we're able to do that because we're beginning to see results. You know? We're beginning to see results in our life. And so we turn our attention to that inherent pattern of perfection and wholeness in us, our Christ nature, our divine nature. And we begin to understand, understand and believe in and have faith in our divine potential. And that divine potential, that believing who we are and having faith in it, allows us to take action. And we're ready to act, and we get results when we act. Now, we still may waver, right? But even though Peter, he got out on the water and then he sank. right? Okay, but at least he got out of the boat, you know? So that showed that his level of development of faith had improved, because the rest of the disciples just stayed in the boat. So it's a growing faith. And I just saw that Patricia has come in now. I called on you earlier. And so I want to, since this is the level of faith, I want to invite Patricia Shepard to come up and share a story about faith. And the reason I asked her is, you know, I do Facebook, and during the week preceding my message, I've always got my ears open, my eyes open for ideas. And so what happened was, there was a quote Patricia posted. She actually posted this photo, and the photo had a quote: "Everything you want is on the other side of fear." Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And so she then posted under that photo, "I am finally realizing the alchemy of transforming fears into faith." So I immediately sent her a message and said, "Would you like to talk about that on Sunday?" So Patricia, could you come up and just share for a few moments about that alchemy of transforming, and maybe some instances? Oh, well, I've already done this one. Oh, okay. Okay, this is one you have to talk into like this. Great, thanks, Patricia.
Okay, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon.
Real
Can't speak to the microphone. Anyways, I want to let you guys know that I was here in spirit earlier today, but there was things that interfered for me to be right on time in church. And but I was here in spirit, and I wanted to share my story about transforming fears into faith. And it started early on with my spiritual development. And as a child, my mother used to be a faith healer, but she healed people with prayers and hands-on. So that kind of got ingrained in me, but it was mostly about healing. And then as I grew up, you know, spiritually, I started seeing that, wow, I can transform not just the health and the well-being, but I can transform situations. If I just, in my meditation, I feel the fear, I feel whatever it is affecting me or making like a heaviness in my chest, and I go right to the I am that I am, and that I am to live and be and have my being in the substance and in the being of God, and God is within me. And when I repeat that, and in my meditation like a mantra, I am that I am, and in God I live and move and have my being, it's like something happened magical. It's like a transformation. I see those fears kind of evaporating. The other thing that I also visualize is the light of Christ within me, kind of bringing the light into the darkness. So if I'm in a dark night of the soul, for example, that we all have sometimes, I go, the light of Christ within me is illuminating all this darkness, and I am fine, I am secure, God is with me. So it's that those moments of where we feel heaviness, or we feel fear, or we feel that we gotta go through a challenge, that we really gotta believe and really get into that faith of, with God by my side, with God within me, I can transform anything, and the challenges will somehow be manageable. And it's not that things disappear magically, but we can confront them better, and we can have a bigger amount of capacity to transform them. And then magic happens. You have become an alchemist. The one example is I had to reform my little doggies, and the same day that I have been praying before and visualizing my doggies being adopted together, because they've been together for so many years, and that they will have a loving home and everything they want, and the cleanliness and the walkies and the good food that we begin giving them. And So I had one of those moments when I needed to talk to Brenda in a pastoral moment, so I talked to her, and at that moment, my husband was giving the dogs away to this place where they adopt them, you know. And Brenda, I was telling Brenda about my doggies and all these things going on, and Brenda said, do you have a picture of your doggies? And I showed them the picture, and she fell in love with the dogs right away, like, oh my God, I want these doggies. And I go, what? The Reverend of Unity Santa Fe wants doggies? This is doggy heaven, but I want to ask for my doggies, you know. And then right away I called my husband, stop to give away the doggies. Brenda le mandó a Reverend here in Santa Fe. He goes, what? So he went and picked him up right away and said, sorry. And we retrieved it to Santa Fe, and there is doggy heaven, just like I visualized it. So miracles to happen when we do have faith. Let us see.
Yes, I laid awake that night staring at the ceiling, saying, what have I done? And it was a wonderful thing for me and for them. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah. I thought that story would be better than the landing gear that didn't come down when you were landing in Colombia. And again, just knowing all is well right in the midst of that. She just knew these doggies were going to have the right perfect home. And it just unfolded the way it did. And look at all the suffering that she avoided by not having to worry about it, because she had faith that it would be taken care of. So the next level is conviction. We go really getting more grounded in our faith, so that we, oh, I forgot to have us, no, we did affirm that, yeah. That this conviction is really governed by divine ideas and spiritual understanding. And it's developed faith that is absolutely permanent. It is settled. It is when we know that we know that we know, no matter what. And no matter what our senses are telling us, we know the truth right in the midst of the situation. And at that point, we've conquered fear. And we've transformed it. We've been the alchemist that has transformed fear into faith. And we don't waver. We keep on walking. So I invite us to affirm the conviction affirmation. I identify with the all-conquering truth that I am a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual ideas. Divine ideas. Each of the 12 powers is a divine idea. And then finally we get to the level of realization. And this level is when we know our oneness. It's when we automatically act and react with faith, and no matter what the circumstances. And I like to say at this level, and this is true of all the 12 powers, we no longer have faith at this level. We are faith. We are faith in expression when we reach that level. And so then I've written some questions on the bottom of your form that you can ask yourself. You know, where am I investing my faith in a given situation? See, this is practical. This isn't just some theory. This is about taking these powers and using them in your daily life. So you're in a situation, so you ask yourself, where am I investing my faith? In my divinity or in my humanity? In what I don't want or what I want? In what I see and hear with my physical eyes and ears? Or what I know with my inner vision, and that's Bartholomew, imagination, we'll get to him. You know, can I believe and have faith in what I know intuitively? And do I trust? Do I trust God with all my heart? And when I say God, I'm talking about our divine nature. Not some God out there that may or may not like what we're doing, but our divine nature that knows the truth. So you can ask yourselves these questions to help you strengthen your faith. So I hope you'll keep these handouts, because again, you'll get 12 of them by the time it's all over. And if anybody's listening to this on the podcast or on the watching the video, if you just email admin@unitysantafe.org, we'll be glad to send you these sheets. Okay, so how do we do this, right? Prayer and meditation. That's the way we always develop our faculties, our spiritual powers, and I'll leave us in the one on faith at the end of the message. And by using these sheets, by really working with it, not just filing it away or throwing it away, heaven forbid, not that anybody would do that, right? So, I celebrate that each one of us is willing to go forth from this sacred space today, willing and ready and eager to experience the joy that faith feels like. And I know that to the extent we do, we bless ourselves and we bless everyone. And let's begin building our faith faculty in meditation right now. So I invite us to just take a moment to get out of our heads and bring our attention to the heart center. And just begin relaxing. As you hear these words, as they're spoken to you by you, through my voice. And we just begin to relax. And again, we do it in first person. I relax by observing God, my divine nature, breathing me, and allowing the breath to find its own rhythm and pace. Allowing the breath God is in me to flow between the top of the head and the base of the spine. As I silently affirm, there is only one presence and power in the universe and in my life, God, my divine nature, omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience. There is only one presence and power in the universe and in my life, God, my divine nature, omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience. There is only one presence and power in the universe and in my life, God, my divine nature, omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience. I breathe into the crown of the head, the superconscious level of mind, the Christ center in me, represented by Jesus in me. And I silently affirm, the Christ of God that I am awakens in me. The Christ of God that I am awakens in me. The Christ of God that I am awakens in me. I breathe into the forehead, the conscious level of mind. And I silently affirm, I am aware of the awakening in me of the Christ of God that I am. I am aware of the awakening in me of the Christ of God that I am. I am aware of the awakening in me of the Christ of God that I am. I breathe into the solar plexus, the seat of the subconscious level of mind and emotions. And I silently affirm, I am grateful for the awakening of the Christ of God that I am. I am grateful for the awakening of the Christ of God that I am. I am grateful for the awakening of the Christ of God that I am. Established in those centers, I breathe into the center of the brain, the pineal gland, the face center. I breathe in and out as if breathing in and out through that pineal gland. And I call forth the disciple Peter by silently decreeing, I give no power to doubt and fear. And I affirm, the Christ consciousness that I am awakens the spiritual power of faith in me. I have unquestionable faith in God as my divine nature. I have unquestionable faith, and I am an expression of faith. I have unquestionable faith, and I am an expression of this unquestionable faith that I am. And together we allow the spiritual power of faith to awaken more fully in, through, and as each one of us in the silence. And as we gently bring our attention back to this time and place, silently say, I am awake to the power of faith that is my birthright. I live in faith, perceive the good, trust all is well, and expect the best. I am awake to the power of faith that is my birthright. I live in faith, perceive the good, trust all is well, and expect the best. I am awake to the power of faith that is my birthright. I live in faith, perceive the good, trust all is well, and expect the best. And for this, my heart overfills with gratitude. Silently saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, divine nature that I am, faith that I am. that it is so and so it is.